Disney films may be catered towards families, but villains are not treated so well in the stories. Violent deaths, gruesome scenes, and horrible fates often lie in wait for some of Disney's most notorious villains. For some, the death is a little more ambiguous than you realize, and the villain may have actually survived. See which of your favorite Disney villains could still be alive and kicking. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join the notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Also, can you guess which movie is represented by these emoji? Stay tuned at the end to find out.
I might be able to clear up this little misunderstanding.
If what?
If you marry me.
Gaston. Gaston's arrogance got the best of him in the animated version of Beauty and the Beast. Out to conquer and kill the Beast merely to show off his strength and pride, Gaston suffers the same fate as so many Disney villains before him. After stabbing the Beast in the side, Gaston looks to finish off the job while hanging on the sides of the Beast's giant castle. The rainwater causes him to slip and fall hundreds of feet to his death. The chances of survival may be slim, but there are some things in his favor. We never hear the body impact, and there is a water ravine down at the bottom. Of course, he would have been injured, but Gaston even sang about how muscular and strong he was. His peak body shape could have helped him survive the fall, although he would have been a much different man afterwards. It's easy to compare this with other death falls in Disney films and see how Gaston's is a little more open to interpretation. The evil queen in Snow White had a huge boulder fall down with her. Clayton's huge fall in Tarzan shows vines wrapping around his neck and hanging him to death. The fate of Gaston may be worse in life than death. The injuries of the fall and dramatic events would probably put him in the same mental asylum he wanted Belle's father to go in. Even Richard White, the voice of Gaston, believes the villain may still be alive. In the live-action remake, his death was a little more obvious, with a loud sound effect added as his voice cuts off. Ursula. Poor Ursula. The sea witch may have had evil intentions, but she was a feminist through and through, trying to take down the men that have ruined her life over the years. In The Little Mermaid, Ursula's rage in the sea causes her to grow into a massive monster during the climactic battle of the film. Eric steers a ship right towards her, impaling her stomach as lightning strikes and sends her seemingly lifeless body to the depths of the sea down below. Even though Ursula's sister comes around for the sequel, don't count this clever sea witch out just yet. As a half octopus, you only need to look at science to get some evidence of Ursula's survival. The stabbing Ursula suffers from may not be as bad as it seems. These sea creatures have the ability to regenerate limbs and tissue when something is severed off. Some may question the location of the stab wound and wonder about Ursula's heart. Well, it turns out octopus have 3 hearts. Ursula may not show her love and caring 3 times the amount, but she could easily have those blood-pumping vessels in her body. The other 2 hearts could help her survive if one suffered damage. The lightning strike may not be too bad either. Octopus are known to endure a lot of pain and may not even fully feel pain at all. Ursula is probably still under the sea hatching her plan for the ultimate revenge. Lucifer. Cats may have 9 lives, but they can only survive so much in the real world. They may be known for landing on their feet, but when you fall from a huge tower and are probably 20 pounds overweight, landing on your feet may not be a suitable option. In the Disney classic Cinderella, it's easy to assume Lucifer falls to his brutal death during the climactic chase scene in the film. Not only was the cat chased by a dog out the tower window, but he just had plates and dishes smashed on his head by other animals. Oddly enough, the cat is the only villain of the story to suffer. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters aren't actually punished for their treatment of her. It's pretty quick to dismiss the cat's death and worry about whether the glass slipper will fit Cinderella. But amazingly, Lucifer does survive the fall. Lucifer's fate was proven 52 years later with the release of the straight-to-video sequel Cinderella 2: Dreams Come True. The cat returns with every piece of fur on his body, strutting around like nothing happened. Lucifer even gets a love story and chance at redemption in the sequel, but ultimately chooses to hunt mice instead. This revelation shocked many Disney viewers who saw the sequel and never expected the cat to be back again. He also appears in Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time.
Jafar, my most trusted advisor, I am in desperate need of your wisdom.
Jafar. The ending of Aladdin presented Jafar with a far more worse ending than death. He was trapped inside a lamp with his bird companion Iago, destined to live an eternity together. Naturally, this helped the sequel, The Return of Jafar. Jafar's return was short-lived, as Aladdin and his friends were able to defeat Jafar and destroy his lamp in a pit of lava. As if that wasn't enough, Jafar's body burst open like a firework, sending sparks throughout the sky. This should have been the end all of Jafar, but this isn't the case at all thanks to Hades. That's right, Hercules' main villain Hades has a hand in Jafar's survival.
Dear. Oh, how frightfully upsetting.
Jafar's life and soul is saved in a little seen Hercules animated special called Hercules and the Arabian Night. Taking place after Aladdin and the King of Thieves, Hades brilliantly decides to give Jafar his snake staff back and turn him mortal again. The two baddies then decide to team up to take on both Hercules and Aladdin. Jafar eventually loses his staff and is forced back into the underworld, but Hades can take any opportunity to release him again. Even though the lamp was destroyed, Jafar's ability to become human again shows what a power sorcerer he will always be. Maybe now is the time to produce the Return of Jafar.
Ladies, please. My fate is in your lovely hands.
Hades. In Disney's Hercules, the title hero had the tough task of taking on an immortal god who also ruled the underworld. With such power and destruction, you would think death is the only option. This is exactly what's assumed when Hades is tossed into the river Styx and buried by a collection of souls which he once controlled.
He's not gonna be happy when he gets out of there!
You mean if he gets out of there?
If.
It's easy to assume Hades died in the river Styx, but this isn't the case. He was destined to live out eternity in the river and is likely still alive. What Hercules and others never realized is Hades' power and ability to control situations. He's a smooth talker, deal maker, and knows how to play on people's weaknesses. He's the ultimate salesman, and this is probably exactly what he did to get out of the river Styx. Hades was able to take Jafar and other souls from this river, so all he needed to do was promise the same from the ones consuming him. By doing that, not only would Hades be able to escape and return to the underworld, but he could have a whole undead army by his side. Knowing the mastermind that Hades is, this is a completely plausible theory. It also makes sense when compared to the movie's ending.
Well, what have we here?
Oogie Boogie Man. The Nightmare Before Christmas's Halloween town was filled with some pretty creepy and scary creatures, but none was worse than the Oogie Boogie Man. He was cruel, unapologetic, and loved to torture his victims with taunting songs, scary spinning rooms, and lots of bugs. He even kidnapped the beloved Santa Claus. Thankfully, Jack Skellington was able to defeat the Oogie Boogie Man by undoing his burlap sack and releasing the hundreds of bugs underneath his skin. The bugs all landed into a burning vat, and it seemed like the Oogie Boogie Man was gone for good. There are actually debates as to what gives the Oogie Boogie Man his powers. Is it a group of bugs collectively joining forces to form the being? Or is it some type of supernatural force thriving on power? A video game may provide all of the answers. In The Nightmare Before Christmas Oogie's Revenge, Lock, Shock, and Barrel use some thread and needles to reform the sack and help make Oogie Boogie come alive again. The game plays like a sequel to the film, but it may not be considered official canon. If a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas is ever made, then this would create a plausible way to show how the Oogie Boogie Man is still alive. As long as he brings some more catchy tunes with him, then we're all for it.
Wow! There you are! Hello!
King Candy. The big twist in Wreck-It Ralph came with the digital unmasking of the villain King Candy. The leader of the Sugar Rush video game was actually Turbo, a forgotten video game character who escaped his own arcade cabinet.
No way!
King Candy tried to destroy Vanellope and permanently delete her from the Sugar Rush racing game. His plans become foiled when he's discovered to be Turbo and Ralph battles him in the land of Sugar Rush. After King Candy is consumed by a cybug, he transforms into a menacing hybrid that is eventually drawn to the powerful beacon of light emitting from the Diet Coke and Mentos eruption Ralph created. While this may seem like the end of King Candy, it is all merely a video game. King Candy didn't go through any process different than any other character. When Ralph is thrown off the building in his game, he survives the fall with hardly a scratch. King Candy should live on next time a quarter's inserted. The cybugs continuously appear in Hero's Duty, no matter how many times they get destroyed. The same could be said for King Candy. Plus, Candy is a master manipulator of video game code. He would have the intelligence and programming skills to have a clone of himself roaming around the video game somewhere. King Candy lives on. And there you have it. What villains do you think are still alive? Are there any we missed? Who's your favorite Disney villain? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Oh, and the answer to the emoji quiz is, did you get it right?